have a list of 11 questions that we've just been asking everybody, the same questions, and we're just going to continue going down the line.
I think it's my turn again, yeah.
Yep.
Sure. Why are you interested in serving on the Spring Lake Park City Council?
You always want to give back to the city. I have a lot invested in the city in past time, coaching, planning and zoning, a lot of different things. Currently have a daughter that lives here. I've recently moved my mother into the city. I live here. I have enough faith in the city that in the process of selling my house, and I'll probably build in the city again or buy in the city. I think that pretty much probably sums up why I want to be involved in the city council, so I have some input, can kind of portray what I think the people say, bring it to the city council.
Could you please give us a brief overview of your education and work experience?
Education, I got 12 years in high school. I did go to college after I went to work initially and thought, maybe this college works, but I went back to that and that didn't work. So then work experience, I started a company back in 78, something like that. I have built that up over through the years. Employed currently, had actually two different companies over the course of time, a building company and a drywall company. Drywall company has over the years built itself up to employ 7 people total. I've gotten an education in just work-related things. We work for I've built probably 20 plus homes over the course of my building career, many remodeling projects, so I think I've learned a lot of things on dealing with people, how to get along. The drywall side of it, I've got employees that have worked for me for 30 years, the youngest being just hired last week, but I think I've learned to treat them well, and I've learned a lot from them. We work for 35 different contractors through that company also that I've learned to work with. Some of them we've done work for probably 20, 25 years. Either I'm too cheap or I'm doing something right or something, I'm not sure. That's how I got my education, just learning on my own. I still can't spell very well, which I wished I would have paid more attention, you know.
That's what spell check is for now, right?
Yeah, and a life.
Thank you.
What attributes would you bring to the city council?
You know, the biggest thing is I see a lot of times is just to try to get along with the city council, being that you sit on it. Get along with all the staff and everybody, but yet still represent the people, be able to listen to the people, try and make things work through that. Maybe have just another voice, maybe another side of any issue that were to come up or be present at a time.
What do you believe are the city's strengths?
You know, I think strengths, when you look, you know, I think the police department's real good. You know, I don't think that it has any weaknesses other than maybe its size and its, you know, ability to raise revenue. You know, we're small, so a lot of people, you know, everybody kind of knows everybody. The police forces, you know, I think they're good. The rec department, you hear a lot of good things about, you know, people just talking when they offer up their opinion on things like that. I guess that's what I'd probably say. You know, Public Works, I think I can't leave them out. I think they again, you hear things like the streets getting plowed right away and, you know, the grass always seems mowed. I mean, everyone complains too, but you try and weigh it in good and bad, and you hear more good than bad. That doesn't mean they couldn't do better. We all can do better, but it's nice to hear when people say good things, and I think all three of those are real strong. The city council, you know, the leadership here has been good over the years.
Okay.
What do you feel are the greatest issues facing the city?
You know, the size is kind of scary sometimes, and things that you hear could happen, you know, between merging and all that thing. I mean, I don't know if that's good, bad, or indifferent, but I like small. I like the size of the city. I like that. You know, our housing stock, I'd like to see, you know, we got to do a lot with the housing to make the city a strong city. And I think we're on track to a lot of that, so I guess I don't know. That's probably, yeah. That was a good question I didn't have enough answers for.
Can you explain your philosophy about public services, taxes, and budgeting?
Public services, taxes, and what else?
Budgeting?
Budgeting. Budgeting is the toughest thing you probably got to do with what I have seen on zoning and planning, and when I was on the city council, budgeting is very, very tough. Getting the people to understand, getting the city council, us, if you're on it, to understand. That's probably a tough one. I apologize, what was the other one?
Public services, taxes, and budgeting. Nobody likes taxes. I shouldn't say that. Maybe there is someone out there somewhere, but taxes are that's a tough one. It's very critical. It's got to be, generally speaking, people don't like taxes raised. You have to find a way to do more with the same or less, but less never happens. That's just the cold hard facts of that, I believe. But I'm willing to be proven wrong too. I know I don't like taxes. But that's one that'll get me elected, but not on the city council.
If you could change some aspect of Spring Lake Park's governance, direction, and focus, what would that be?
I could change. As a citizen, I don't think I would change anything. I really don't. And just let me make sure I understand the question correctly, that you're talking like the city council, city administrator, park and rec, zoning, or police, public works.
Kind of the governance, how the city council governs over the city, the direction we've taken, either right now, the past, or the future, and how to focus on the day-to-day issues that come and either positively or negatively affect the city.
I'd have to be, I have been involved somewhat, and I think as you get involved more, you could see more. I'd be better positioned to answer the question honestly, but I still think that I don't think I would change anything.
Over the next 3 to 5 years, what goals do you want to see? 1, the police department achieve. 2, the liquor store achieve. And 3, the parks and rec department achieve.
The police department, I'd like to see them maintain what they have. Not slip any further backwards with less people, less cars, less police, nothing less. Maybe there's some room for even more if somehow or another through, and this is just stuff you read in the paper about reserves and everything else. I mean, maybe there's some of that in the future, I'm not sure, but nothing less. Park and Rec, the only thing I could see with Park and Rec, and I don't know that they have a whole lot to do with it, but you know, that lake over there that we've got that everybody's taken everybody telling us we can't do anything with it. I mean, I don't know that, I think Park and Rec could do a lot with that lake if there was more there like in the old days, but Park and Rec wise, I guess there seems to be an awful, I haven't taken in a lot of Park and Rec other than when my kids were growing up and I coached basketball and softball and, you know, all those things through the years, and I was all Park and Rec and it was all great. Now that I'm older, I don't partake in too much of it, but I think there's a lot of things there for everybody. I think they're doing a real good job. And what was the third one?
Liquor store.
Oh, the liquor store. Yeah, money. Money. Somehow make that. I mean, I hate to. You'd have to look at the numbers, and that's got to work somehow or another through something. I know liquor sales, and maybe they're rebounding. I'm not sure, but you hear all the stories, and you see. You know, there's something you don't understand about liquor stores. Some of them you read down south, they're going wild, and other ones are going out of business. And you wonder why. What's the difference? How come?
Thank you.
But as far as being a liquor store or not, I have no objection to should we be in a liquor business or not, or it doesn't matter.
Can you describe your experience in working collaboratively and building consensus?
With the city or in general?
In general. I
would just say my work experience through employees, as long as they have, working for people, as long as we have. You know, I kind of, as you look back over the years, why'd some of these guys stick with me this long? But it feels good, you know, when you can, I've been married for, oh boy, long time. And God knows I'm not a saint, and she is, but I mean, I'm proud of that. I'm very proud of that. And my kids are still, I think, proud to say, you know, I'm their dad, and I think those are all probably at the top of my list for things I've achieved and most proud of, I guess.
Is your business personal schedule flexible enough to accommodate our normal meeting schedule and to allow for an occasional day or early evening function? And will you have adequate time to read your packet and do the necessary research prior to the council meetings?
Yep. Much easier for me now as you get older. My role at work is very flexible. I've got in the process of guys, one of the guys that's been with me for a long time is buying it out. It's over a 3-year period. I basically come and go. I mean, I work, if I don't work days, I'll work nights at home, or if I work, my schedule's flexible. I come and go, I'm here, there, make time for whatever it is. I don't have a set hour at work. I don't have to be work. Well, I show up at the shop at 7, but from, or 6:45, whatever, till 7:30, but then from 7:30 on, and I don't have to show up there. I've got different building projects, but everything is flexible. I have no set. I say I'm retired because this sounds whatever, but you know, the bottom line is I still have to work because I enjoy it. But I feel like I'm retired because, for the most part, I can do whatever I want to do. I mean, I've got people that, in place that if I want to take off an hour here or 2 hours here, or I do grandpa daycare for my daughter on Fridays or Mondays, you know? So yes, I am retired but not retired, but flexibility is not an issue at all.
And last question, is there anything else you'd like to add to assist us in considering you as a candidate?
No, I appreciate being one of the four. I mean, I think that's honorable in itself that, you know, I made the first round. I mean, it is. That's impressive, and if even though I don't go any further, I feel good that I got this far. One of the things, and I put it in my application, you know, the city, you see so many people out in Spring Lake Park, and you know, I've been involved with the zoning and planning and the city council, and you know, there's a lot of pitting against each other sometimes. As, you know, the people out there, the god darn city. Well, a lot of times it is the god darn city, but there's always a reason, or sometimes there's a reason, or sometimes I'm trying to get all them people together to understand both sides of it. It's probably one of the biggest challenges, especially a little city has. The bigger they are, I really think maybe don't hear as much flack because they're too big. Who are you going to go complain to, you know? Well, City Hall, you can walk right up, and I think all of you guys are more available than some, and it's harder, I think, in a small city. I might be wrong again. I'm not. The older you get, you should get set in your ways more. Well, I've tried to fight that over the years. I get a sore neck from shaking my head saying, I don't know. I don't know. But I still do enjoy trying to find out and figure it out, so I think that would be my strongest for coming on the city council. I would hope that would help the people and the city.
Terrific. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Now I get to go judge by my wife and kids.